here. Just a moment. Just getting everything set up. Making sure my audio is good. Just a moment. Okay. Just getting everything set up. All right. Excuse me. It looks like we're good to go on ScrewTube and then TickFlop. Getting that thing going. Bear with me just a moment here. Promise you I'll be there in just a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's go set up here. The background music is too loud. Let me know in the chat so I can adjust it. For me, it's good, but I think it's too loud. So anyway, today I'm diving into working with some AI tools. Let me just lower it just in case. What's in the background there? Working with some AI tools. I have an idea of some animations that I want to test out and see how they work. I'm using KLING today. KLING is a great software. It really is. I've been using it for 6-7 months now here, maybe longer than that. But it's great software and you can do a ton of stuff. This is my most recent design here. Kind of funny, I turned it into like a piece of content and did a couple tests with it. I don't think I ended up using this particular image, but I used something. Let's see if we go back, show you the other one. A couple test items here. Oh, I know what it was. I ended up using KLING to do it. So this was basically I uploaded image and I wanted it to look like a tarot card, the hanged man card, I guess. And so these were me testing out some ideas. And then once I did it, I basically uploaded that image and made it into a video. And I used KLING for it. I thought Leonardo would be the way to go. Tried a couple iterations. This was Seed Dance 1.0, which is, I guess, by what's it called? By Dance. Didn't work that well. It was good, but it was like missing. It was lacking a little bit. It didn't give me exactly what I wanted. So I think I found it in KLING the best way to animate it. And I did several iterations. Didn't get the text quite right, so I had to go in and actually paint that text in myself. As far as the static images, I liked this one a lot, and I think this one looked good. So I was trying to animate this one, and then just iterating and spitballing with it. But in the end, I ended up with a cool video. Is this one right here? That's one of it. That's one I like. So as you can see, I did it. There was me doing a no-handed backflip on this jump, and then I wanted to end up using it like a tarot card type thing, just because of the same way that I was using on that trick or whatever. So it was a piece of content that I produced, and it came out pretty good. This was the end result. I think it was pretty funny. It bounced off my head and came back to the card. I ended up using this one. I love the animation. It's silly. It got people's attention. People commented. People laughed. It was funny. I ended up using this one pretty good. And I thought it was comical. So even though it was sort of like a mistake, an error in the AI, I thought it was funny. So today I'm going to try to animate a shirt design that I have and see what it can do with some motion graphics here. Let me upload the image. And this is a shirt design that I have. So if you look at the links in my bio or my profile, wherever you're looking at this video, I have a design of the shirt. I'm actually wearing it right now. So I'm going to try to animate this shirt. And just upload it. Make sure I got the right document here. It's going to be this one here. It's uploading. I'm going to test the limits of KLING AI and try to make some video here and see if I can animate the text as well as the image itself and try to come up with something interesting that I can incorporate into my next video. And this one is actually 10 megabytes. It's a pretty large image. Let it load up here. There it is right there. And as you can see, it's the safe and effective quote with the vaccine needle here, a serpent, and then some tombstones and some blood money. So I want to try to animate all this stuff, and there it is right there. First things first is you got to prompt this thing. If you're not familiar with AI, you want to learn how to use it. I do this type of streaming and this content all the time, so feel free to follow the channel. That will give you the first introduction into AI tools and stuff like that. But it's all about the prompt. So there's a lot of different softwares you can use. There's Leonardo. This is a great one too that I use really often. It can do all kinds of stuff. This one has a little different interface, so if you want to use like a template or a blueprint to get started, here's like a good starting point. And for that matter, maybe you don't need to learn AI at all, because if you want to use somebody else's work and their creation and make it your own, and customize it, well, it's pretty simple, because you can just click this remix button down here and create your own thing. So that's one way to do it. And sometimes it gives you good results, but then if you need to fix it more, you need to do something more in depth and you don't know how to do it, well, then you might be stuck, right? So this is pretty cool. These little people working on the fish, that might be cool. Maybe you could easily transform that into a turkey or something else or whatever. So you can see how that's useful. So tools doesn't really matter. It's kind of like CapCut or Adobe Express or Canva, like anything you can edit video with. There's many different ways to achieve the same result. Which one works best for you? Well, that's up for you to decide. So this is what I use, and I do have some affiliate links if you're interested in this stuff, but I'm just here to experiment and show you what this stuff looks like and why I like it. So if you're interested, I do have the link to the referral code. It's in the description or whatever. You can use that one to earn free credits to use this AI software, so you don't have to pay for it. So anyways, I'm trying to animate this image here, and I want to start off with a blank canvas. Let's just see what happens. And I'll prompt it, say starting with an empty black frame. I know this is pretty small on your screen, so I'm reading it out. I'm reading it aloud. So the prompt, starting with an empty black frame, comma, the words, and then I'll use quotation here. And I feel like, at least in my experience, when I use the quotation marks, I will refer to text and other things that need to animate on screen that are identifiable. And it seems to know when I put this in quote, which is really important, that it'll grab the right thing. And so when I'm using that, I'm referencing the text that's in the image here. And when I make it create fonts and kind of things like this, I use quotes too. I feel like it does a better job when you have the quotes instead of not having. So anyways, starting from the empty black frame, the word safe and effective, scale, how do I want this to animate? Let's just try scale and hop into frame, cascading or one at a time, like one after another, maybe. Let's see if it can handle this. One after another. There's that. And then I want the snake slithers into frame. Or maybe I should have the tombstones pop up first or second. The tombstones. I kind of want the tombstones to pop last, just because it tells a story about, the snake and the jab, all that stuff. So maybe I should do that last. So I wonder if I'm going to get restricted, because I'm using that word. So maybe it'll block me. So I'll just use the needle instead. Because I don't know. Some of these AIs, they have censorship built in, pre-programmed. So we'll see what happens. The needle slides into frame just as the snake opens its mouth to catch it in. Let's just fix that typo. Because this is a snake, singular, opens its mouth to catch it. And I know that I've tried to do blood before, and it censors me for using the word blood. So I just say red liquid, and then it's like a loophole, because whatever, it's ridiculous. There's some restrictions on here that are built in. It doesn't have any parental settings or like guidelines type settings to allow for blood or some of that. Some of these AI apps will allow you to use this blood and adult content, and this one really particular. So I just say red liquid. tools below the snake, and then the tombstones pop up from the ground, pop out, or grow. Let's see, grow is probably a better word here rather than pop. Tombstones grow up from the ground in a sequential manner. Whoops. And what else are we missing? The splatter. Let's try that and see what happens. Now, I'm using the image to video because I have the image already. I want to try to just animate what's already there. You can add stuff to this, and I can add different things in that are not in the image, and it will do it, so long as it knows what you're referencing. But for now, I just want to see how it's going to work with this text here, and see if it can animate these images to maybe create motion graphics using what's already here, and see how that does. And if it does a good job, then I can start adding stuff in there. And some of these KLING AI features allow you to control like keyframing the motion of stuff. So basically, I want that snake to move a certain way. It's possible that I can like paint on it and adjust some arrows and kind of make that snake do whatever I want it to do by just kind of pointing these arrows in certain directions. Now, it only does that with certain video models. And as you can see on this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different video models to choose from. So I'm going to start off with 2.1, and let's see if that's going to work. And I copy this thing. Always a good best practice is just to copy that prompt, because in case you jump to a different video model, you might lose it, or vice versa or something. So there's a difference in all these different video models here, and some things have more features than others. Some have presets, other elements and stuff that you can add. And the newest one, 2.6, which tries to add narration, voiceover, and audio to it automatically. That's like the newest feature. So I don't really need to be using that one. I think 2.1 is the one I'm going to start with, and that's the most cost-effective one, really. It costs 25 credits here. So I'm going to give it a start with the 1.6. 1.6 or 1.5. Okay, I will start with 2.1, and then down here, bottom settings, I will just choose the standard one, because this is just how I like to generate images, is because I'm testing it, right? I don't need the best, highest quality, highest resolution image just yet, so I'm testing it and starting with a lower quality one. So I submitted that one to be rendered. Sometimes it takes a minute, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what you're prompting. So we'll just see what happens. I'll turn the volume down a little bit because maybe it's overpowering me. So anyways, going back here. And then another thing I'll do is I'll take the same prompt, once I copied it, let's see what it's going to do first. I'll copy it and I'll put it into Leonardo or another AI software and just see how it works with the same prompt. So I'll go to this one with the video, clear all this stuff out, and then I'll just paste it word for word into this application and upload that image as well, and then choose a different video model. As you can see, the Leonardo one has KLING as like a third party, so basically it's referencing the KLING models, but it also has other ones like Google Veo, Sora, and these other ones too. LTX, this is like a newer one on the scene here. So you can use all these different ones here within Leonardo, whereas with KLING, it's proprietary, where it's just basically KLING itself with their own models and whatnot. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so it's still rendering. Give it a second. Here we go. Let's see how it did. That was a surprise. Okay, that's backwards. Not great. Funny though. But it's not ideal. So anyways, we got stuff happening backwards here. I said starting with the empty black frame, it didn't do that to begin with. That was the first mistake. So Where did we go wrong? Let's see. Didn't start with an empty black frame, and then this thing is going right through the snake, and then it's working backwards almost. Like now, this money and the tombstone, everything is rising up, and then the snake falls down. But I kind of like the blood splatter here, but then I don't want the tombstones coming up out of that pool of blood there. I want the tombstones that are in the image already. So let's see. Do we ruin that prompt? Let's see. Then the tombstones grow up from the ground in sequential manner. Okay, maybe we did. Maybe we need to reprompt it and see if that fixes the problem, because maybe it's connected to that. So I'll do a separate sentence here, and I will see if I can fix that. The tombstones in the background behind the snake, be very specific, grow up from the ground in a sequential manner, and then yeah, there's a red splatter on the text, which is basically what it's referencing, this tool right here. And that's splattering up, and then this is moving out of frame. So everything's moving, which I think is good, because that's nice and dynamic, and that's interesting, but it's not moving exactly where we want it to. So I modified the prompt a little bit and show that this is what I want it to do, what I hope for it to do, and see if it makes any difference. The needle slides into frame just as the snake opens its mouth to catch it. And I fixed this prompt to make it any better based on what happened here. So the one thing I could do is actually play this video in reverse, and it would make sense. Because if it's doing it backwards, what I could do is actually play it backwards and start from here. And then as I'm dragging backwards or reversing it in the editor, it might actually make sense that the snake comes up from the ground to grab that needle. Maybe, but it still is kind of jacked up. So let's try to fix it here. So the prompt, it looks like we fixed that part. Let's just see what happens. Render another one. The tombstones in the background behind the snake grow up from the ground in a sequential manner. Then there is some red splatter onto the text. Are we missing anything else? No, everything's moving pretty good. And then there's one issue, is that behind this needle here, it's thinking that that's an F, because that needle is moving out of the way, and now we're missing that text that says safe and effective with the E. So maybe, because of this design, I think I need to change what happens with that needle there, and maybe just rethink that and just put the snake in there by itself, swirling around that needle or something. Maybe the needle stays in place here. So let's try it again. Starting with the black empty frame, the words saved and effective scale and pop into frame one after another, which didn't happen. The snake slides into frame and wraps itself around the needle, maybe. Then, all right, let's try this. And the red liquid pools below the snake. Let's see what happens. Let's see if that fixes anything. My only issue is that because of the design, it's already blocking. As you can see, it's already blocking the letters. So that might be an issue. And if we can somehow solidify that text is there, then maybe that won't happen again. But I will try again. And I'll hit generate. While I'm doing that, I'm going to copy this text and then put it into Leonardo and use some of their tools here. Where is it? Right here. Now I'm going to paste this text in here, and I will upload the start frame. Not every I'm going to upload an image here. Not every AI software will allow you to use a start image. Some will, some won't. And that's based on the model itself, or what type of lower as or learning system or model that you have. Some of them won't let you do it, some of them will, and I think the ones that will are more advanced, where now you can choose the settings from the start frame. Some have a start and an end frame, and some do not. So it's just really something to be aware of here. And now that I've got that uploaded, I'm going to choose the video provider. Let's see, to render this one. So you can see right here, it says start frame, end frame, image reference. These are good for working from an image and making something animate out of that image rather than having it generate something from scratch with no image. So that's what that's all about. Pricing, credit-wise, these are 100, 200, this one's 300. And it also depends on these settings over here. You can see on the side that if you're just generating a short image or like one that's 10 seconds long, it's obviously going to cost more. This one's 510, this one's 200. If you want to do it different aspect ratio and different resolution size, that'll affect it too. This one right here says 100. This one is 500 for full HD. I like to choose in the middle because I can scale it up or down as needed. And then the size here makes a difference as well. You can kind of see it moving over here with the credits. That's 200. This one's 1 by 1. That's 200. And some of them are more, some of them are less because it's different space that it has to render. So you try it and see how it works. And that's a seed dance model. And as you can see, a bunch of different ones to choose from. I haven't tested the LTX ones yet, really. And again, because we're rendering this stuff, sometimes I just choose the most affordable one, and the one that's fastest, until I get close to a good end result, and just to see how they differ. The Sora ones I haven't used really because they're, to me, it seems like they're not for what we're trying to do here. So Seed Dance Lite I've used, and so fast, and you can try these ones to see how they work because they're more for iteration and getting stuff started before fine-tuning it or dialing it in or upscaling. So let's go back to the AI, the KLING AI. So here we go. This is a good example of what I was saying, that they censored it. It said the generation failed as the content includes sensitive information, because I didn't use the word blood. I have the word snake. But that's what they'll do sometimes. They'll block you. Ridiculous. And it says they've refunded the credits to give it back to you. And sometimes that happens. And then when it does happen, I just hit generate again to see if it does it twice, because I don't see anything in there that's a red flag that they wouldn't render that, because they just did the one below it. And let's try the Leonardo one, see what happens. And I'll use Seed Dance Pro here. And this one won't allow me to use image reference, or will? Yeah, start. Okay. So we'll try this one and let it render, and I'll do 9 by 16 and see what happens with this one. And let's compare. Go back to the KLING here. And sometimes it'll work and sometimes it'll get rejected, and I just basically go in and try to find the word that triggered the censorship algorithm and then remove it. And I'm not sure what it was in this case, but we'll see. I mean, the good thing is they give you the credits back at least, like that's okay. But it sucks to be censored when like there's nothing on here that's like a trigger, I wouldn't think. That's stupid. This one's taking a little while. 49 seconds. Usually it renders it quicker than this. And sometimes I'll just give it up to a minute before I just like reload or refresh the page. And sometimes there's a bug and this lasts for a long time. And then I just refresh the page up here. But we'll let it go for a little bit longer and see what happens. Doesn't take that long. Seems like. Anyways, this one, back to this one. This one says it's got 30 seconds left. Oh, again. Generation failed as the content includes sensitive information. Where? I'm just reading. I don't see anything that's I didn't use the word blood. I didn't use the word kill, any of this stuff. So this is just kind of nonsense here at this point. I don't see what word is triggered. The red liquid. I didn't use blood there. Tombstones. They're triggering it. They're censoring it because of the word tombstone. Snake. Like what? I don't get it. So this one is very similar, and they rendered this one. What word did I not use in this prompt that I'm using in this prompt? That doesn't make sense. No, tombstones, red liquid, needle. It's all the same. I don't get it. The only thing you could do is maybe use DeepSeek here, which would try to describe the image. And then when you click this, it's going to try to analyze the prompt that you inputted and then use the image and try to articulate what's happening on screen. And then it'll give you a couple options. And it basically, this is new, I haven't seen this before, but it basically articulates what you're trying to do and describes it in terms like, instead of saying start with an empty black frame, I don't know, maybe it's confusing that, but it says right here, a dark void fills the screen as bold white text. So it's basically taking the same words and kind of reworking it, kind of like how college students are cheating by typing in, they're doing their homework this way, copy and paste, and then using DeepSeek to like rephrase it, sort of. So anyways, that's what it's doing, and let's just read a couple of these here. This one seems the closest one, and you can type in use prompt. Let's see if it generates that or puts it. So it replaces this prompt, which for whatever reason, and again, I don't know why, for whatever reason, this is like a clone of what I typed in, just worded a little differently. And I'll try to use it because that seems like almost the same thing as what I'm trying to do. And then I'll hit generate again. And then if that doesn't work, I really don't know what to do because it's censoring me for words that I'm using, but it's not telling me what words are not okay to use. And I don't like that about this stuff. Okay, now the KLING, this is Leonardo here. It's animated this terribly. I would say that's very poor animation here. Stuff is moving. I like how the blood's spilling off of his tongue. That is cool. But one of the issues, I think, is that this was a vertical image here, and the input was a 1:1 square ratio. And then this one, so it's adapting 1:1 to a vertical image. Just not sure how to reframe that. So that's not ideal. And I think ultimately what I want to do is there's an image that I have of me wearing the actual shirt, and that's a tall image. That's a 9:16. What I want to do is have this image animate behind me, and I want to see how I can figure out how to do that. Kind of like rotoscope myself out and have the stuff come from behind me. And that's like the ultimate idea, I guess. So let's go back to KLING again. So I don't get it. This one is not making sense. It's not making sense here. I'm just trying to analyze that and see what I can change. It doesn't make sense why it's rejected it 3 times. I am confused. So the other option, I got the Firefly open. Let's see what happens with this one. Again, these are a lot of these companies that own these AI softwares. They built in the censorship, but they're not telling you why. And I don't like that. At least it should just tell you, say, hey, this word seems like adult content or whatever. I don't get it. So this is Firefly AI. There's a bunch of stuff here. I could choose a bunch of these different ones. I think these are image. So I want to go out here to generate video and go back. Now this one's built by Adobe, and they have other partners that they're working with to try to use their AI software. So if I want to create a video, it's going to change and give me different options here. The video 3.1, fast, runway, race, Sora, Pika, VO2, and then Firefly video. And when you click on more, this one, now it takes you to this screen here with more option here. Now, I really don't know how many credits I have for this month to use this stuff, but this one right there says it's 400. I think I have a few thousand to use. And as I change this, you can see in the bottom corner now it says, oh, this one can use 80. And some of them are affordable based on credits, and some of them are really expensive. And that one's 175. That's runway. Ray 3, that one's 500. Too pricey. 402, 340. Ray 2, 250. But I don't have a lot of context on what they do and which ones I should use here, because it's not giving me a lot of insight onto what these things do. Some of this one says realistic motion. Ray 3, that one's 1500 credits, man. Wow. HDR. So like what we're trying to do here, which one works best with graphics? Which one works best with animations that are not real, like physics? Like so here, so this one says physics, realism, controllable, production ready videos, physics, controllable. Now it doesn't have a lot of options here to use, so even if I upload my first frame, there's not a whole lot of option to choose from, so that's kind of an issue too. And then again, if I have the same problem where I upload a 1x1 square image, how is it going to remap it or put it into a vertical image 9x16 that I want? So not a lot of choices in that regard as far as like the option, other than uploading a frame. I'll try it. I'll try one. And which one is it going to be actually? Runway. So this one doesn't have the first frame to start with. It just has the seed number. So that's not ideal. Pika. Which one did I use before? Pika has something. Give me a couple settings here. And then once you upload the first image, you can prompt it. So I'll just try this one and see how that works. Give me a second while I upload the image. So now that's uploading. Okay, so now here's an option. That's something new. So it's basically allowing me to pan and scan or crop and fill, like however I want to frame this. Because like I say, it's a 1x1 image and it needs to be in a 9:16 format. What I really should do is take that 1x1 image and then make it 9:16 aspect ratio with the black border around it, and then feed that as the input. So this way, this stuff will stay in the center and everything around it will be usable, kind of like have a negative space or whatever. I think I'm going to do that. I'll just go to the fastest way to do it. Go to the Adobe Express. Whoa! The fastest way to do it, I think, is basically upload it to Adobe Express here, and I go to a portrait template. So this is the size of 9:16, which is what I want. I'll just name it Safe and Effective Snake. And then I'll upload that same image, which is 4,000 by 4,000 pixels. Making sure I got the right one. I have 3, 4 different versions of this one. I'm making sure that I got the right. Looks like this one. I want to say it's that one right there, so I'll upload the ping. And it's loading in, and now that's loaded. And I think the quickest way to do it is leave that in the center. Choose the background color, that's the eyedropper, the same as this. And then that just expands it out so that now we have that 9:16 aspect ratio. Then we can move stuff around without having to crop or do any of that nonsense there. So I'll export this back out. Now it's 1080 1920. That's the same aspect ratio as we want. And I'll save that. So give me a second. I'm just trying to save it in the right spot so I have it saved for me when I need it. This is going to be 9:16. Okay, now I saved it. Now, like I was saying, go back into those other softwares to try to animate it here. Adobe Express, I haven't seen. I was thinking now that I'm in here, I could try to get it to animate, but I don't think they have anything for Adobe Express that does that, animate an image actually. So I'm not sure that I could use it. So I'll close this out and then see what happens if I open that image that I just created with the proper aspect ratio and see how it does. There it is. So now it's uploading that. And it's the same aspect ratio as this, so now it's not asking me to crop it because now it has the full image, as you can see here. So you can crop it this way if you needed to, but that's besides the point. That's why we made this image here. Now stuff can move around. So I think I'll try this one, and I'm going to use the prompt from the DeepSeek one. Let me remove that one because that is the original prompt. And I'll go over here to the KLING. I'll copy the DeepSeek one. And I'll go to Firefly, paste this. And I'm just going through here just to see what other options are available. And if there's one that's used for testing that has a lower threshold for credit usage. So I think that Pika one is the lowest one, but we'll see. Pika 2.2. There's not much there for settings, so other than that, I'm going to try it 5 seconds at 720 and see what happens. Let me see if I got all the prompts set up here. Okay, I'm gonna hit generate and see what happens and hope for the best. And sometimes this one can fail just as well. It'll say the same thing if it's censored content, whatever. Now, in that regard, there's a couple image editors that can do adult content and uncensored content, but I think it only does images right now and not so much video, text to video, or image to video rather. So I'll find out. Let's hope it does something cool. Okay, well, it looks like it did something. Now, I haven't seen this before, but it's basically giving the option to edit the video Now that I've generated the video, it's saying you can edit your video generations directly in Firefly. And I guess like here is showing the flower, you can hit generate and make it purple. So I guess after you've already generated the video, you can edit it further, which might be cool, but I'm just trying to use the motion graphic aspect of it. But it totally ruined the text here. Now it's illegible, you can't even read it. But anyway, let's just see what happens. Huh, that's like, I didn't ask for any of that. That's not even close. But anyways, it would be cool if you played it backwards almost, sorta, not really. And all it did was just kind of, everything is blurry, it's a total mess. Kind of funny. It did not do a good job. And it didn't start from blackness, like this prompt says here. It kind of just did its own thing. And nothing really, it didn't regard or abide by that prompt at all. So sometimes AI is like that. Sometimes it's like that and it's not going to do a good job. So let's see what other options are here. No, see, that's not useful. It looks like this one has a disclaimer here. You're responsible for determining whether the model is appropriate for your project. Maybe that's the censorship limitation or whatever. Anyway, that's not great. And sometimes AI is like that, and you have to keep working on it until you find something that works. So this one is kind of goofy because it doesn't really animate the way I want it to, except for the blood splashing off the tongue. That is pretty cool. Maybe I should try a different model and see how that works. And now that I'm thinking about that, I need to re-upload this image. And maybe I'll try this one again. And I will replace this image because it's not the right aspect ratio, and that might make a difference. So let me upload the image that is the right aspect ratio and see if it makes any difference at all. And let's see. So this one, I'm just thinking to myself, like, this one doesn't really, you can change some of these things, the settings here, but as far as like the physics and what you want it to do, it's not really abiding by any of that stuff. It's kind of just taking what's on the frame and just moving it around. And some of these ones, it just sounds like prompt adherence. We need one that's good with physics. It has prompt adherence, not so much the cinematic like rendering capability to make it look good. We just want something that like matches the physics to allow something to happen. And so I'm looking to see which model does that better than the other one. And that one, wow, VO 3.1, 2,500 per render. That can get expensive quick. Maybe this one, motion realism. VO3, VO3 fast, motion 2. These ones I've used, these are like the Leonardo based models here, I guess you'd say, because they're cheap, but they don't do a good job of animating anything. They're really like cookie cutter, almost like if you were to animate something in Canva, it's just going to move it around on the screen, and it doesn't give you a lot of control. Now this one might, because it has these presets, but they're more camera type presets and not the actual what's happening on the screen. So it's got some effects. You can do some interesting things if you're using faces or animals or something like that. So the mouth in one might be really cool with the snake here, now that I'm thinking about it. And I'm just looking at some of the other presets, like what could you use that would match what we have on the screen here. So the mouth in would be pretty cool with that snake, actually. So if it's not gonna do a good job rendering it, the least it could do is just zoom in on that mouth and get close and do something interesting, because if it's not gonna abide by the physics and stuff that we told it to do, at least maybe we can get that out of it and see what happens. Motion elements. Look at this real quick. Start your creation with optimized settings tailored for various design intent. I don't know why it has the word motion elements, but it looks like this is presets. I'm looking at it, and that's what it's looking like to me. It doesn't look like motion elements. It looks like different presets, like styles. You can see here, dark fantasy, claymation, dreamcore. These are different styles, really. And I think that the style, the way the image looks, is exactly how I want it to look now. So I don't want to change the visuals. I just want it to render like the animation part of it. But anyway, I'll try that, see what happens. Enhance, I'll turn that off. The vibe, again, these are lighting. These are different ways to light something. And I think the image looks fine the way it is. I'm not trying to re-light it and make it look a different aesthetic. So vibe. Backlight is pretty cool though. Low key is cool too. But I don't think that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I think I'm just gonna let it go as it is and render this one and then just see what happens. And I look at the settings here and make sure everything is good to go. And I want to make sure this is the right size. Yep, the tall one. I'm gonna try the mouth in and see if that works, because at least I can use it for something. And hopefully it'll recognize the snake's mouth and go zzz, right in there. And let's see if it'll do anything with the other stuff here. And there's not one on this for timing, so usually it's a 5-second clip. I don't see any duration. I don't see any duration for like 5-10 seconds or whatever. So I will just see what happens. Smooth video. Yeah, okay, well, I'll give it a go and let's see what happens here. Let's see it. Render. Motion 2.0. I really wish the KLING was working, but it doesn't seem to be friendly right now. Firefly one, not great at all. And it's probably more time than I want to spend on this particular project, but let's just see what happens if I enter a different image. I mean, if it's going to refund the credits, then I'm not wasting it. Let's see if it'll do it with a different prompt then. Let me upload that. Let's go back to Leonardo. Oh man, almost. Like, what is that, you know? It was looking good at first, and then you get this weird mouth coming out here. Like, okay, I didn't ask it to do that. That's gonna, what is the deal with that mouth? So the words were cool up until that point here. I thought it was gonna work. And then right here, there's like an iris, like luma mat or like a transition mat, and then this mouth comes out of nowhere. And I was expecting it just to go right to the snake here, but it didn't. Now this huge mouth. So halfway, like I was expecting it to work, but halfway through you get this. And then also the text on this tombstone is distorted, it's not legible. Can't really read what that is. So not ideal, but it's better than the other one. But right there, you just ruin the whole, at least in my opinion, it's ruined because You get that mouth coming in there doing whatever. It kind of just ruins the whole motif of what I was going for. Back to the cling. Try this again. Let's see if I can use this one. So I'll try this one and see if it works. And again, it's using their stuff. So I'm not, you can see that it's using their prompt. I'm not entering stuff that's flagged or whatever. So I'm just going to try it and just hit render and see if it's going to render this out. And if it doesn't, it's going to be it for me for tonight. Render, come on. Well, at least it's not, didn't show up with the restriction screen yet. It might. Totally might. Just waiting on this thing here. And I wonder where it's getting this information from that it's blocking and censoring this stuff. That doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know where it's sourcing the censorship trigger to flag that. I don't get that. Yeah, I don't get that. Come on, do it. Hey, it worked. So I don't know what I did. I just used their different prompt, the DeepSeek. I used their prompt, so we'll see what happens to me. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So that's pretty unique. I don't know. It's not exactly what I was asking for, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique, actually. And now that it's I'm just reading the prompt here. So it never start. You know what I think the problem is? I need to start an end frame, and I think that's my fault because I think that's my fault because if I wanted to start from darkness and I wanted to start from black, I'm not giving it black, right? So I think here's the issue here, and what we're running into is that we're not starting with the black frame. We're starting with the full image, and it's my fault because I need to go back to remember that like we're the engineer here. We're creating this project, so we need to tell it exactly what to do and give it the proper direction. But we didn't give it step one, and step one, at least in this case, and that's why I was misguided, I think, is because it says we're going to open with a black frame, pure darkness, and then all this other stuff happens. And we're telling it to do that, but we're only giving it the end product to start with, right? Because when I end on this frame, what's the beginning frame? I think I could fix it, and now that it's running that prompt and it's not having a problem with this prompt and it's not censoring us anymore, I think here's what we're going to do is just create a new black frame and add it in there and start from that frame and see what happens. And so I will do that just now. I'm going to go to create a new black frame here and upload that and see if it fixes the problem. It should. Totally should. Now that I realize like what's going on with that, it totally should. I'll go back to this project, and this is Adobe Express here. This is a free software that you can use. It's kind of like Canva in such a way, and it has all this stuff built in. It's cloud-based and all this stuff. You can put on your phone, all that stuff. That's what I'm using for quick, simple edits and fixes and this type of stuff. So if you're wondering what that was, that's what that is. The best way to do that, and just delete that. So now I have a black frame, and this is like the plate, the background plate of the first frame. And we'll just download this, the same size, and then save it to the same folder. This might fix the problem here. Maybe, hopefully. We're just going to save it as black frame 1, and this is good as a starting point. I learned something tonight, because normally, put it back there, and normally it wouldn't start with a black frame. Sometimes I start with something else. So let's go back here, and then I'll hit this button right here to swap places. So if this is the end frame, then we'll swap that. And then the start frame, we're going to upload that black document that we just made, which is just a black square. Let's see if this fixes our problem. I think it would. So I'll go black frame and upload that. And from the computer point of view, it's just going to look like that. So I've just got a black square. That's the starting frame. And then the prompt says, the video opens on pure darkness before stark white letters come in. So like basically, hopefully, it'll start with all black, and then these words come in behind it and do all the stuff that it's supposed to do. And let's see what happens. This one, because it says right here, video 2.1 model with end frame only supports professional mode. There's no settings for that. It's already chosen the credits. Now I was thinking to swap from 2.1 going into one of these newer models and see what happens. But again, if you want to start an end frame, not all these models do that. So I'm going to leave it set as that and just hit render and see, hopefully, if we get the good result. And I'm going to check the prompt again real quick. In menacing snake glides into view, constricting around the central needle as the dragging downward. This is all correct. And I'll just hit render and see what happens. This one is pretty close. It's pretty close. So we'll let that render. Hopefully we don't get censored again like we did the last couple times. And maybe it'll give us exactly what we want because we're starting with black. The render looks good. The text, let me zoom in on this a little bit. The text looks good. Everything is legible. You can read it. I think that's a good result. It just didn't do exactly what we wanted. And it was my fault because I didn't add the black frame first, and maybe this would fix it. But other than that, I think that's really good. I know this would take me a really long time to do in After Effects or create motion graphics with something like this. So even though we spent a little time trying to figure out the prompt, this is saving us time in the long run. So hopefully it'll do a good job on this one. Let's see what happens. Give it a second. Patience, grasshopper. Let's see. 30 seconds. And the only thing I'm noticing in that prompt that's different from the other one is over here it says syringe instead of needle, and maybe that was the word that's right here. It says vaccine syringe. And I think the software and some of the stuff's like Chinese, and I don't know, maybe that's banned in that country. And this other one here that they censored, did it say syringe? Right here, vaccine and syringe. Are they still doing this? It's still 2020, censoring everybody for saying these words, vaccine? I don't know. This one doesn't say it. Or maybe that's why, I don't know. But that's pathetic. But anyways, let's see what it did. It starts from black. This is looking good so far. Start from a black frame. What do we get? That's weird. All right, halfway there. That is weird. Okay. All right, so what do I like about it? Let's let this thing loop while I, that part, it doesn't know how to properly render the snake because the snake is improperly rendered to begin with. The text comes on pretty good, except for what is that? It says Vietnam at the bottom or something like that. Safe and effective. Vietas. I don't want that at all. The vaccine needle, it's kind of slides up from the center, like stretches out. I don't have a problem with that too much. Tombstones pop up. That looks good. The money's floating around. That looks good. So how do we fix that with the snake here? Let's see. The menacing snake glides into view, constricting around the central needle as the red liquid drips downward. if the snake is the problem that I have, maybe I could just fix the snake and everything else would fall into place here, and it would use a different seed. And so if I rendered it again, maybe that wouldn't happen. And so if I could fix that prompt and describe it in such a way that the snake doesn't spiral around the needle, that could fix it. So I gotta fix that. The menacing snake glides into view, gives you this result. So I'm gonna try to change that. A menacing snake. How do we want him to come into frame? Menacing snake glides into view, constricting around the central needle as the red liquid drips downward. It didn't do any of that, so I'm gonna change this. A menacing snake. What do you want? How do you want this guy to animate on here? I don't want this text at the bottom. I'm not sure why that happened. Maybe I'll say he comes from behind the tombstones. And moves to the center of the frame, perhaps. So you try to articulate this the best that you can, so when it renders it, it knows exactly what you want it to do, and you're not being vague, like you're pretty specific actually about what is happening here, and then you get some pretty good results if it knows what you're talking about here. So the text, how does the text look? Do I want to change that? I think the text looks good, and again, we had that problem because of the design. I think it did a good job there because that design as a static image, if that needle is moved out of the way, then it's blocking that F to look like an E, and some part of the snake head is blocking these other letters. So I think the text is okay actually. So now I just need to change the snake and make it look like he's actually doing something. I'm going to re-render it again and see if that changes how the snake comes into the frame here. Menacing snake comes out from behind the tombstone and moves to the center of the frame, facing the camera. Okay, revolt composition, and then I'm going to say also a preset of zoom in. So I want the camera to zoom in. Now that we have a little bit of room, camera zooms in. I don't know if it's going to do this fast or slow. We have any option for that, but I'm going to try it. And I'm just going to hit render and see what I get. It's getting closer. This was the first one. No, the first one was way down here. Oh, that's the first one right here. Take a look. Way off. It's comical, like I like it, but it's just not exactly, doesn't work that well for what we're trying to do here. The second one, one's like the opposite. The snake's already there, then he disappears. And again, remember that was because we didn't use the right start frame. That was my fault. You gotta start from black if you're telling it you want it to start from black. So that's probably why we're getting these weird results here. Anyway, on the third, fourth iteration here, let's try it one more time and see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky. We got, taking a look. I think we got 8. I'm trying to find out where the credits. I think I got 8,000 credits to work from. So this is like, I'm just keeping an eye on these ones burning through. Like, here's the pricing plan or whatever. Remaining credits. Oh yeah, 7,000 something credits to work from. Okay, so we're good. I'm gonna keep an eye on. 30 seconds left. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Come on, do your thing. Let's see. Come on, do it. this is going to be the one. Oh. Boop, 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 boop. Now let's see the other one, the Leonardo one. Do we have an option to do start and end frame? And if we do, look, it's using KLING, which I'm already using. So start and end frame, Seedance does it. Seedance Pro, Seedance Lite, image reference 2, and then also Leo 3 does it, but these are hella expensive if you're still just in the rendering process. KLING, of course, we're already using it. Start and end frame. So I think maybe if it doesn't work for the other option, I could do Seedance Lite and use the start and end frame and make sure that I'm using the right images here. And then also uploading the frames here, start frame, end frame, and the image reference to give it some style. Maybe that's another way to do it, and it won't give us these weird results. So let's see what happens here. All right. Not great. I mean, it looks good because all the elements are there at the end, but really what it's doing is just kind of scaling everything up on the screen. It's not that interesting to watch because it's kind of just like everything just blobs onto the screen in such a way that it's not like really that interesting. I like this one, or actually this one, because things are actually happening that makes sense, like from a physics perspective, like that splash, that looks great. That blood dripping down, I think that's fantastic. Like the way it splatters and like spills on this area here. And this one is just kind of not creative at all. It just kind of just like blobs onto the screen. So I don't like it. But anyway, it didn't do it wrong. It's just not great. It's not creative. And I'm wondering if it's because I used the zoom in preset here that kind of ruined it. And if I got rid of that, I wonder if that would fix that problem. So I will try and see if that fixes the problem, because I like what this one did. Professional mode, I'm looking to see if all these things are the same. 2.1 professional mode, 2.1 professional mode, because I think maybe I ruined it with the preset by choosing these presets here of camera movements. Maybe that ruined it because this is not technically a lifelike camera movement. This is motion graphics. This is something that's like does 3D rendering, like it doesn't exist. It's graphic images. So maybe that ruined it. But I think I'll try it again and remove that camera image, or the preset for that. See if I can fix it. I really like this one. And I want more stuff happening on the screen here. Now the other thing that I didn't notice, the text. Safe and effective, safe and effective. This one, safe E and effective. It's got like an extra E in there, and I didn't tell it to put that there. I'm just now noticing that because I spelt it right here. It's spelled correctly here. It took the liberty to add an extra E here. So I don't know if I like that, but I'll do one more since some people are watching it here, and I will hit render and see what happens. And then I will also do one more in the Leonardo and see if I can do this with the start frame. Now remember, the start frame has to be all black. So I go over here, add my black start frame. Where is it? Oh, where is it? There it is. Add the black start frame with the right aspect ratio. That's the first frame. I think I might be running out of RAM or failed to upload image. Maybe I need to wait for that to render or something. I'll try it one more time. Start frame. Frame 1, yep. It says failed to upload image. Let me refresh this page and see if that makes a difference. Then I'll go back to the KLING one. "30 seconds." So it claims. Come on. All right, let's try this again. Start frame, upload. Start frame, black. Load it. That's a start. End frame. This one here. We're starting for black, and then we're ending on this one here. Confirm. And then I want to make sure I'm using the same prompt. I think I'll copy this. And I'll paste it. This one is taking a little while to render. Here we go. We got something. There we go. Let's see what we get. Terrible. That's the worst one yet. Look at that. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Man, that is not great. They've gotten worse. Pretty bad. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that or why it's having trouble with the motion graphics and text. Tombstones look good because they're not changing. You can read it. It says what it says. That doesn't make sense. So I'm really not sure why that's happening. The closest one I got was this one, except for it added an extra E here. Well, that's AI for you. Sometimes it doesn't give you the best result. Let's see this one here, what we're going to do. This one, I'm going to choose small setting because we're rendering this stuff, and I'll keep it at 4 or 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, probably 4 seconds, and just to see if it's going to work. There's no sense rendering out the largest full res quality if it doesn't do what you want it to do. So start frame, end frame. This one is going to be Seed Dance Lite 1.0. Let's see, what is the difference between Pro and this one, really? Precise motion, cinematic, aesthetic, consistency, fast, sharp results, skill with camera shot and expression. I'm not using people. I don't think I need that one as much as I would need this one. So I will try the Pro model. Under credits, and let's see if I can do this one. Prompt enhance is off. Let's let it rip and see what happens. All right, so while that one's rendering, this is probably gonna be my last one. I've been on for an hour already. And if you have any question on this type of stuff, AI, you're trying to figure it out, feel free to leave it in the comments or the description after the stream. And if you want to use this stuff for yourself, I have the link. Where is it? I have the link somewhere. You can join the community of creating AI content and share your designs just like these people here. And then there's a code. There's a referral code. If you want to try it for yourself, you can earn free credits. And that code is in the comments or in the description there, and I'll add it later. And you yourself can start doing cool stuff like this and earn free credits and use these apps for free if you want to learn it, or at least just dabble with it, figure out if it's right for you. So let's go back and see if that finished rendering. Oh, that's right. It's on Leonardo. So this one's taken almost a minute. And while it's doing that, I will put that code in the comments, because if anybody wants it, here it is right here. I'll copy that. I'll pin it to the comments. So that's the referral code, and then the app is app.kling.ai. So if you want to use the software, it's app.klingai.com, app.klingai.com. Pretty simple. KLING.com. There you go. That's the one I'm using. It's fun. This Leonardo one's taking a little minute here. It's extra minute to do. I do like some of these ones, but they're not ideal. But maybe fixing them is easier than having to do it by hand or do this manually. This would take a really long time to make something like this happen. This one is good without that mouth though. So let's hope this one is good, because ultimately, you know, these are good but not great. And at least this one, there's no spelling errors here. And if I can remove that mouth thing, this might be okay. You know, it's decent. This one, I kind of like it, but it's cropped in too much, so maybe I could try this one again. And again, this one is Seed Dance 1.0 Pro. That's the one I'm rendering up here. I think Seed Dance 1.0 Pro, same one. So let's see what happens. Come on, do your magic. Oh, and then the Firefly one that we went over today was not great at all. This was Pika 2.2. And I think some of these ones are designed to work with like people and humans and stuff like that. So maybe you shouldn't expect an amazing result, because if you're not using what they're kind of designed for, it wouldn't make sense, right? Because these are like graphic design, vector graphics, not people. And then maybe it's not trained to do graphic design. Well, that ain't great at all, because let's just see. It didn't do anything that we told it to do here. Did it start from black? Nope. Safe burst onto the screen? Nope, it didn't really do that. Nothing slammed down below. The snake didn't come from behind the tombstone. So that is not great, and I'm not stoked with that at all. But sometimes this is a trial and error process, and that's you get what you get. And if you can figure out how to fix it, that's a good way to do it. And so tonight, yeah, it didn't really get a lot of good ones going, and I don't know what to say about that. It's like sometimes you got to keep trying and keep iterating until you get it going, or redevelop your prompt and restart your prompt to change it in such a way that gives you the result that you want. So it's a lot of kind of debugging and fixing this stuff. But anyways, if you enjoyed the stream, feel free to like or comment or subscribe, or try to catch me on the next one. If you have any question about AI, leave it in the comments. Maybe I can make a stream about it for the next show as I work with this stuff and we try to figure it out together. And that's going to be it. So have a great weekend, everybody. It's 12/12. Amazing. 12/12. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.